Tonight's game is Mask of the Rose. Let's continue. What happened? Looks like something happened to the save file. Fresh start. As well as out of water. And we're back. I guess we're dropping the second playthrough to do the third. In February 1862, with no warning at all, London fell through the surface of the earth. This was meant to be a year of progress in industry, a great exposition, trams, a new sewer system. Instead, we find ourselves dwelling in a cave. It's October now. Fires have been put out. Bodies have been buried. The future remains unimaginable. Time before, impossibly distant. This time, let's go with Taylor. Yes, a tailor. Down here, your name is whatever you say it is. Often there's no one left to remember who you used to be. Some people hold tight to the names they carried before. Some reinvent themselves completely. Let's see, we're the dock worker, so let's go with. Citizen Huang. That's me. Huang to my friends, citizen to strangers. And I kind of like the idea of having epaulets to which we are not entitled. In the Neath, a true ally means everything. When I find people to be close to, I'm open to whatever comes my way. I'll be looking for both romantic feelings and a physical connection. Friendship and matching, possible too, of course. Citizen Huang, Taylor, who desires passionate romance. Let's go with that. Right now, I'm meant to be helping with the census, finding out who still lives in my neighborhood. First census results are due tomorrow. If I turn them in, I get paid. The first money to come my way in nearly 2 months. If I don't, I'm going to disappoint Greece badly. She knew I was in trouble, so she went out of her way to find me work with her own employers. She even gave me a badge to show my affiliation. Badge of the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. The front of the badge looks almost like a constable's badge, with the lion and unicorn blazoned on it. The back of the badge has some kind of symbol I don't recognize. Hot to the touch. A hot symbol we don't recognize. Those familiar with the universe this is set in, Fallen London, likely know exactly what that is. I keep it with the clothes I have from before the fall. A few odd items I found more recently. Let's wear it. And put on our tailor's apron. The apron speaks to a shopkeeper's life. Hopeful, cooperative, with a gift for invention and a true appreciation of craft. That'll do. From here, you may explore the city, recall the past, change your outfit, and more as the story unfolds. The game will save each time you return here, indicated by this notification. Okay. Happy with this outfit? Let's head out into the rest of the house. Host a visitor before bed. Ah, I thought you were up here. He glances at the badge I'm wearing. I suppose I should be glad you're thinking about the census, even if you didn't get around to leaving the house. I react to that the way I react to many things these days. I dare to name the frightening things out there. I'm not sure what I'll meet out there. Not everything outside is human. Romas, don't let a few odd things in the broadsheets frighten you. Come tomorrow evening, we need to have at least a few census forms filled out. Well, I'm going to be the one explaining to Mr. Pages. If that happens, happens, I'm going to deal with your employment prospects again. Breeze works for the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. Seems to agree with her. He wears trousers to work, comes home at all hours. Very important to her, being taken seriously by these employers. The next thing I do is characteristic too. Did your employers say whether I should also interview the squid-faced men? Or are they not included in the census? I believe they were invented by the newspapers, but if you happen to meet with any, by all means record their names. What about the talking crows? Consider yourself at liberty to include any creature capable of telling you its name or occupation. What do you think of the questions? They're written in the most peculiar spiked handwriting, and there are punctures in the paper in random spots. The question about romance is peculiar. Perhaps. But it matters greatly to my employers. Whatever you do, you must not leave that one out. At this moment, a second visitor walks in. Archie is a medical student. He hadn't finished his training before the fall, but he has plenty of work now. Right after the fall, it was broken bones and cuts. Lately, there are fewer wounds and more diseases. I wondered where you were. Archie, is something wrong downstairs? Has there been a new disaster? Not the kind you're thinking of. Out I went this morning to visit a patient, and what do I find pasted up on the wall? He holds up a broadsheet. There's a new decree from the Ministry of Cartography and Chirography that all maps and houses are to be surrendered or put on the fire. It's your folk making these rules, Grease. Yes, what is happening in Greece? What is this about? Will you be asking your Mr. Pages about these maps? One must respect the law. None of us knows what is safe down here in the Neath. Most likely, there are reasons you can't imagine. Then, please do collect a few census forms by tomorrow, from whatever Londoners you are able to find. At the end of the day, I'll find you and we can take them to Mr. Page's together. You know what I miss the most? Back home, the sister's hair turned colour when it rained, blonde to a wet plastered brown. Like a mad hen she looked. How are you holding up? Worse than Greece, I will not lie. Seems there's no road out of here. Food from the masters to we will keep all else that might kill us below, scurvy and the like. A great hulking rock fell on a house in Southwark, with the roof in and near to kill the whole household. But dost be quiet, likely to give you nightmares too, and I'm proud a lot of them to help with the sleep. Grease has me gathering census pages for the ministry. Aye, Grease told me it was some such thing. Are you truly free of romantic commitments from before the fall? You've never befriended an especially promising patient? You must have had your share of opportunities. Down here, there's no one. What about before February? I was the last back home, and what did me mother do but promise me to her? I see. The question has stirred recollections he's not considered for a time. Is it bad to say I've not much thought of her since? She has very even teeth. My mother always said overlapping teeth in a woman mean defiance, and gaps mean a light skirt. I laughed darkly. There's stranger theories I heard in the medical lecture hall, and plenty of constables who thought we'd catch the criminals that road. I've heard curious things about medical students from Scotland. You wouldn't be paying your bills with a bit of resurrection, would you? Nay, that was Edinburgh, and it's long past anyway. It's criminals that'd be dissected now. You don't perform any less legal services? Procure any substances that aren't supposed to be procured? I did sell off a couple of me old atlases just yesterday. Censored maps so for a good price for the right buyer. Rats vermin eradication takes in more than just rats. If I'd met the like of you in Scotland, I might never have come to London. Thought hits me, but I don't show it. Okay. Our main goal is to deliver a filled census form to Pages. We have one, but we ought to see if we can get more. Day 260. 13 days remain in Confessions. The newspapers aren't what they used to be, but someone is still printing broadsheets these days. Archie bought one, and the headlines read, "River through London, no longer to be known by its former name. Londoners warned of strange creatures emerging from the waters." I'm always reliving London's last surface. Try to put it out of my head, but it's still there. Dimming of the sun at 3 in the afternoon. The sky turning the color of rust. A horrible bang, and a cloud of dust from the direction of Westminster. Tolling of the bells. The horseman who rode down the street, liveried in the garb of the palace, shouting, "In Her Majesty's name, go indoors!" And then the sky was full of bats, more bats than I thought could exist in the world. Wheeling, shrieking, defecating. People went indoors then if they'd ignored the criers. Those that had no house crowded into the churches and under the bridges. Even now, I don't understand that so many bats could exist in the world. It was not only in our part of London, they were everywhere. Perhaps I should say, they are everywhere. I reckon it's a tornado. I've heard of something similar in the Welsh Hills back in 1760. No light in the sky and a noise like a thunderclap. That's no tornado, love. It's a plague of Egypt. The newspapers will tell us in the morning what it was. Leastwise, the naked story for letters arm. Glasgow will be envious of our London fashions. And the ground shook again. I believe we can blame Mr. Basil Getz' excavations, digging about under London, causing a seismic disturbance. And what did he find doing there but a cave of 3 million bats? Is that what you read? There are stranger things beneath London. That was the beginning of it, but we were down there for hours and hours. The sky darkened, and it didn't return to normal. Once, around midnight, Reese went upstairs and opened the door to the street, but she came right back down again. He said the cobbles were galloping about. It wasn't safe to walk outside. After that first bit, the memories collide and get confused. I have trouble keeping track of which came first and which came later, whether I'm imagining something. I've spent a lot of days like this, thinking back, trying to piece together the bits of the puzzle. As if I could realize something, make sense of it all. Okay, we're heading out. Let's take the census with Harjeet. We're to be mindful of how others see me, what role I play, what I can and cannot say, constrained by my clothes. This was true before the fall, but it's even truer now. Names, identities, and relationships all become so unsteady and unreliable. Harjeet admires duty, but does not always care for the ministry. Hard to say what impression the badge makes on him. The streets outside Mrs. Chapman's are not easy. Thanks to my family history, I do know where to find the nearest market that specializes in clothing. Hogs Lane Market. Likely just a corruption of Hogs Lane, but I'd keep my pet pig on a leash all the same. But whenever I need to find more of them, Harjeet who helps me. I have something for you, if you want it. He produces a nearly new Admiral's hat, perfectly good condition. I found it near the docks. No sign of the owner, and I can't wear it myself. I thought someone at Mrs. Chapman's might get some use out of it. Perhaps Lady Griselda. Admiral's hat, trimmed with gold braid, makes a person look like a respectable representative of the Navy. Wearing it gives me a commanding if slightly curmudgeonly presence. Clothes make an impression on other people when I wear them. They make an impression on me, too. Sometimes I'm inspired to say things I wouldn't otherwise. I have the feeling this particular hat would make me a bit rough and commanding. I hope the Admiral wasn't afflicted with lice. Leave it in a cupboard for 2 weeks if it concerns you. You're welcome. I'm sorry for the interruption, but I've been sent to ask a few questions of the citizens of London, or those who survived at any rate. I am not sure what the masters have in mind. Nonetheless, it would be a help. I see. London was determined to collect everyone's name even before the fall. Would your answers be the same now as they were then? Not exactly. What do you wish to know? The census asks me to report on your household, whether you live alone or with others, that sort of thing. At one time, I shared my lodgings. That was prior to the fall, but my former companion is missing. Are you married, or otherwise connected? This is not a matter I would explain to most people. You and I have known one another for some time, however. I think you would hear me out kindly, but if you would rather not carry my secrets. At the moment, what you tell me, you tell the Ministry. Though perhaps it is better that I not know. Unless you would equally confide in Mr. Page's. An honorable answer. Best not to promise what you can't be sure of giving. For the sake of the Ministry, I fill in declined to say. Silence falls. All well on the streets? Every day I can walk a little further without getting lost, but sometimes I lose a place again. Do you recall the second-hand clothes man be around the corner? Once I found them selling a piece that my mother had made. I recognized her design work at once. Must have passed from owner to servant to the second-hand shop. A worthy tour. At first, I thought the shop was destroyed, but has moved 2 streets away now. The whole building. How could that be? These stars don't stay put in the sky. Perhaps the streets are also free. I should be on my way. Doesn't help to watch the same place for too long. It was time to run one more errand today before supper. Let's look for census-filling shoppers. It's hard to guess what outfit will best go over in this environment. Oh, looking well. Badge makes clear that I'm here for business, not for conversation. I require assistance with the Ministry census. The truth is essential. I see. I'm sorry for prying into your affairs. What's your full name, from the perspective of the law, that is? It's Phoebe Riley. Irish, as you might guess. Phoebe was my father's idea, I was told. He was a schoolmaster on his better days. How did you come to be here, then? The same way as most of us that left in the bad times. Took a ship to Liverpool first, and did what work I could to get there. And then, when I'd saved up and learned a little, came to London to look for a better fortune. What sort of household are you in? For a few years now, I've been a maid in the household of David Landau and his sister Rachel. Before the fall, there were more of us working there, you might expect. But with things as they are, having to do more of the work. Not a house meant for one servant, I can tell you that. What do you mean by that? It needs its own cook, doesn't it? And a girl to help with the laundry and the washing up. I do my possible in the kitchen, but fancy courses for company are too much. At least when all there is to cook with is a bit of mushrooms and some dried biscuits passed out by the masters. I need you to tell me something. If you don't answer, I'll know you have something to hide. Are you married, or otherwise connected? There's someone I care for. I'd hoped something would come of it, after the fall. But it seems that's not to be, by the look of things now. That's a light romance compared to the tragedies I've heard lately. For a moment, no one speaks. Phoebe came to live with the Landaus some years ago, more than 5 I would guess, but fewer than 10. He has become, in that time, a precise farmer's almanac regarding all of her employer's habits and predilections. She is able to say which meals Rachel Landau is likely to order when she has just fallen in love, books David Landau reads when distressed, and which belong to a cheery state of mind. He lays tidbits of this information before me, selected primarily on how peculiar, alien, and ridiculous Phoebe considers a trait to be. These affectionate mundanities are the substance of her life. I should take myself off. It is almost time to eat. I think we're going to be heading to the Ministry soon. Grace is waiting for me. Whatever census forms you have ready, it is time to take them to Mr. Page's. I'm prepared. I sincerely hope that's true. Come with me. Once I've shown you how to reach the Ministry, you can come back on your own and turn in others. Grace has me gather my papers. With luck, Mr. Pages will decide to keep you on. With that, she leads me outside and down a side street that is no longer named. The way to the bazaar is much longer than a straight line. First left, then right, and back again and again. Like trimming an evening gown, it's going to be a bother for the bother's own sake. I do not ask Greece whether the masters require us to approach this way, or whether it is for her own virtuosic embellishment. Finally, we find ourselves standing in its shadow through its walls. Before us is a low door that once, I think, belonged to the solicitor's office. Reese takes out a key, and if something other than metal unlocks the door. Find the pile of papers. I've already sorted them 3 times. Mr. Pages is very particular about the ordering of documents. Now, where has he gone? Usually he's here by this time of day. Ah, there you are, sir. We were just coming to bring you the census documents. A first installment of many, I'm sure. There is a tone in her voice, somewhere between fondness and a nanny guiding an untutored child. I watch her curiously. She doesn't meet my eye. Does she have feelings towards it? Affection? Regard for a very strange and demanding pet? Or is it something more heartfelt? Mr. Pages, may I present Wang? Wang, this is Mr. Pages. The whole Ministry of Accounting and Recounting is under Mr. Pages' direction. Thank you very much for offering me employment. The opportunities in London aren't what they used to be. Please assures us that they are improvocated. It is highly gratifying that the populace of London appreciates their move. Does it make any difference what the populace of London think? Well, what have you brought us? Ah, most satisfactory. There are secrets here. Gives me 2 shiny pennies for my trouble. Turn one over, and it has a portrait on the back of someone who is certainly not the Queen. The face on the back of the coin stares at me until the hair prickles on my neck. The coin reminds me of a debt owed. I don't want to remember. My breath hitches and slows, resumes. Holding 2 pennies now. We did not expect much from Archie. Under Khan Grease having already revelated that he is a lightless character. What else is there? Pages takes my penny payment from a jar, bringing my stash to 3. There are other coins in there, and a few things that aren't even coins. Buttons, pearls, probably false. A horse head carved from ivory or bone. We are grateful for your assistance. There are never too many papers. There is some unrevelated matter here. It will be good to discover. Do you have anything more? Mr. Pages takes the census page eagerly, and spends some time scanning it. Whatever it finds, it considers it impressive enough to offer us 2 pennies. But it is, I think, disappointed all the same. There is something it is looking for that it cannot find. He seems a very small person. More like a dog. What a horrid thing to say. You would not agree? No. You do not think she is smaller than yourself? That's not. I will not replicate the statement in the future. Thank you, I suppose. Business of the census is done for now. Perhaps I've earned a question. Why aren't we allowed to have maps and atlases anymore? We need them more now than ever. London isn't arranged where it used to be. Out of water again. I believe the Ministry intends to resurvey the territory. In the meantime, it wouldn't do, you know, to have people using fallacious maps. The territory of the Neath is anti-disposificated towards lying still. I beg your pardon? I suppose it must be a reference to the seismic activity. Perhaps there's a concern that future events will disturb the arrangement of London streets. And now I think on it, in those circumstances, the existence of inaccurate maps might cause alarm. Perhaps better not to create in the population an expectation of consistent layout. That is enough of my official duties for the moment. Reese accompanies me out again when it is time to go. He makes a couple of remarks about how useful this will be, though she stops short of asking whether I'm in debt to Horatia. I haven't forgotten them. As we make our way back to Horatia's, Reese asks me what I think of Mr. Pages. She tries to make it sound like an idly curious question. I tell her that I feel Mr. Pages must be a boon to robe makers throughout London. She replies that, judging by the ink stains, she does not think he replaces his wardrobe terribly often. The rest of the walk is taken up with speculation about Mr. Page's taste in gloves and boots. Before we go back inside the house, she reminds me. We have many more people in the neighborhood to survey for the census. You know how it's done now, so you can collect them and take them to Mr. Page's yourself. I have other duties. I may not always be there, but Page's is, well, I am certain you won't be harmed if you visit the ministry on your own. Let's go with the pages route this time. I'll be glad to pay a visit by myself. An opportunity, some might say. I won't offer any advice. I wouldn't enjoy giving it, and odds are you'd not take it. Be careful. Okay. We give 5 pennies to Horatio. Actually, let's save up 10 all at once. Deliver 7 census form pages. Me, Citizen Wang, Taylor, at Chapman's boarding house, Thrall Street. Cash romance. Archibald Reed, seller of contraband goods to finance his medical charity. Boards with Horatio. His mum has a nice girl for him back home. David Landau. Unknown. We know each other only by repute. Griselda Smith. Mystery. Boards with Horatio. Romantic interests unknown. Harjeet Singh. Constable. Lives alone, not seeing anyone. Horatio Chapman. Occupation unknown. Keeps Chapman's and all its lodgers. Romantic interest unknown. Mr. Pages, master of the bazaar. Adorable detractor. E. Riley. Housekeeper. Lives in, not walking out with anyone. Antagonist. I have extracted what Mr. Pages wanted to, more or less. Rachel went with David, brother, and Phoebe, housekeeper. Known only by repute. Day 261. 12 days remain. Another morning, another newspaper. This morning's lies open on the table. Masters announce increased biscuit rations for hungry Londoners. I remember the days of the fall in fragments. There are a few moments that I'm always drawn back to, memories that stand for everything that happened. There are things I sometimes remember from not have happened. Possible things. By concentrating, we can recall. I think Grease did say something about her family name. Grease was eating a cold dinner. There wasn't a hot one that night. But Horatio was determined that we had to eat. Grease and I have both been lodging at Horatio's since before the fall. But at first we didn't speak much. She kept her distance back then. She's become much friendlier since the fall. No question of lighting the stove today, I'm sorry to say. I found a few things in the larder. Those few things would be worth a fortune now. We had the end of a loaf of bread, a roast joint we hadn't finished, cheddar with the wax covering still on. LED's barely been touched, plenty to go around. In fact, I think Grease mentioned her family briefly. Are you concerned for your parents? And visit them in the morning, perhaps? Oh. Go with you if you... Archie, escort you, there, sir. Better. If the Everleigh townhouse were to slide sideways into the Thames, I would not be going to investigate. Archie admires duty, but does not always care for the ministry. Let's see if we can find our way to the Landaus. Gold cab. You know the Landaus? Would you be able to show me where they live? We walk together. Every few moments, Harjeet stops to point out a landmark. Draw my attention to the places where the air smells different. The sound of church bells can be heard. The well-appointed townhouse, suffused with a homely glow from its tall window. Home, the Landau siblings. Come to see me? I've come to ask census questions of your employers. Oh, I see. I suppose you have to get everyone sooner or later. We'll see whether my master and mistress are at home. Delighted to meet you. My name is Wang. David is silent. Rachel does not comment on this. What who for? The Ministry of Accounting and Recounting have asked me to work on the census. Let's see. I'll answer your questions, Wang, if you answer mine. My character research. Are you having peculiar dreams down here? Frankly, I am still waiting to wake up from a nightmare I had months ago. Sordid business with bats. Yes, I can just see Lord Herita Chinless making such a jest. Thought we'd agreed you wouldn't be making more use of the Chinless dynasty. We did say that, but the readers keep writing to see more of them. Go ahead with your question, Wang. What did you mean when you said you had a question about character research? I write novels. They are published one chapter at a time in the Lily of London magazine. I was in the midst of one when the fall happened. My publisher insisted that I continue the story despite all. Rachel, are you certain you want to share so much? Does it matter? Surely those precautions are behind us. What inspired that choice of occupation? It was Yom Kippur many days ago. Our family gathered to break the fast. My Landau cousins at one side of the table, my mother on the other. The little Landos so devout, scandalizing my mother with, she would say, her low manners. My mother in turn scandalizing the Landos by seeming so almost English, with their lash vows on kashrut. Each side unaware of how horribly it was affronting the sensibilities of the other. In such a moment, you either retire to your room to compose a savage monoclef, or you throw up in the window, lean out, and scream. Those are the only possibilities. Rachel does herself an injustice. He writes with real sympathy. You haven't always described it that way. I simply wish you would draw as extensively from life. Do you have any romantic commitments now? He doesn't have any commitments. In fact, I would go so far as to say he is utterly without prospects. He stays home and reads. I haven't been well. He warns me of spinsterhood, but he's headed very much in that direction himself. It isn't the same thing at all. I agree, it isn't. I have my work to support myself. What's become of your funds since the fall? You'll have to marry if you don't want to end your days a pauper, brother. I'll rely on you to support me in my failing years, sister. For the census, what is your romantic status? Married, betrothed, in love? Oh, not recently. I was in love once, though I imagine. Charlotte Cunningham. She and David had an understanding. She converted, in any case. Becoming Christian suited her social aspirations. Rachel... Yes, yes. I take leave to dislike your unworthy suitors as heartily as you dislike mine. Milton is a yellow-eyed, flash-dressed, hot-handed creature, at least 2 decades too old for my sister. Murmurs of devils are frequent in the city. Perhaps Milton is one of them. I hardly think he and Charlotte are compatible. Or comparable. Oh dear, the rules of polite society have broken somewhat in the fall, haven't they? Nothing of the sort. He's a devil. Or rather, he belongs to the group using that name. Milton is an artistic inspiration. You are not a writer yourself, Wang. You cannot guess how much the fall has disrupted all sort of work. Characters have certain tastes, certain preferences, certain prejudices. All I need to do is imagine them in new circumstances, and their reactions write themselves. Now, we've all been at least a little cracked by the fall. How does anyone behave? Who can say? You always said you wrote from observation. Still observe. Since the fall, there's no pattern in what I see. The only home that makes sense to me. I cannot make my whole novel about a brother and sister lighting candles at Shabbat. Why not? My publisher wouldn't tolerate it. The Lily of London wouldn't print it. The rest of the world must come into it somehow. Milton helps me sort the rest of the world. He can make sense of anything, even a vicantess running down the street in her peg noir. Easy to understand a misbehaving vicant. Everything else is stranger. Let me say, Wang, Milton smokes rose-scented cigars. He helps me. Are you married? In love? No, I wouldn't say that. Milton is only a friend. Just as well, too. In the times before, you would never have darkened the door of such a person. With a ready listener, David talks about the life he had before the fall, and hopes to have again. There was a steady business, presented him with challenges in which his caution and tendency to doubt were an asset. In his stories, his partners and relatives are sometimes swindled or tricked, but David himself rarely falls prey to that kind of misadventure. His arrangements appear to have been quietly successful. I have the impression that his friends thought highly of his good sense. We are expected elsewhere. I'm not feeling well enough for this. You've set loose one or two ideas, for which I certainly owe you something. Rachel does look grateful. Look after yourself, friend. Look after yourself, friend. Judging by the clock, I can afford another errand before supper. Okay, let's see if we can find a route to another place with 2 people. You're looking well. Have you seen any devils? If by that you mean the people with yellow eyes. Yes. They have taken over a townhouse. That way. He points out a direction. You can see them coming and going sometimes. And the occasional vicar standing outside to stare in. Rajit shows me the way, as he did before. At certain points, he makes me look up at the stalactites above and fix their relationship. They sparkle with something other than stars. Don't treat the stars like constellations. They do not stand still. They say this place is inhabited by devils, or alternatively, people with yellow eyes and a warm handshake. Rajit takes a look at the devil's doorstep and raises his eyebrows. Plain he has no taste for this company, so I say goodbye and go on alone. Their door knocker is made of brass, unreasonably warm brass. It is shaped like the head of a goat. The attendant is human enough, but she refuses to answer any questions. I wait in a very old-fashioned wooden chair. I keep feeling that the armrests are nipping at my wrists. I am invited inside at last. A member of the constabulary. We do not require your assistance. Milton will see you out. Your eye for detail has failed you, Virginia. A visitor wears the badge of the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. I collect this is some official errand. I'm Huang. I go by Milton. I dislike full names. You may address me as Virginia, or ma'am. I am human. Once I walked under the open sky. You can't say the same? At least speak the horrible truth to me gently, will you? They both fall extremely still. I'm not sure that they breathe. You know that the Ministry has sent me to work on the census. Their work is vital for London. You may have mistaken your authority. The Masters do not direct us. It will not take long. We are in the middle of a delicate matter. Come now, Virginia. Wouldn't you find it entertaining to learn what the Masters are asking? I admit to significant curiosity. Just what does the Ministry hope to learn about you and me that it doesn't already know? Then ask and be prompt, Huang. And if this proves a waste of our time, Milton, you will owe me. You're good, hunting horn. When I reply, my tone is harsh. How many unfortunates are trapped in your household with you? I reside alone. You have servants. I do, several. I had assumed they would not be counted as persons. You must trust me on this sort of thing, Virginia. I have had more time to learn London's customs. And you frequently entertain overnight visitors. Never for very long. I have a maidservant, a housekeeper, and 3 drones. Footmen. Yes, footmen. Do you have any lovers, spouses, friendly barmaids? Ah, an interesting question. Several persons have believed themselves to be romantically attached to me. Will that do? You're not engaged to any of them? Of course not. And not married. That I can safely rule out. Definitely not married. There are census answers I could still get from Virginia. Virginia is my name, fashionable. One tries to accommodate the local culture. That is, one tries until it becomes too much bother. Our friend implies that the name does not distinguish you from the common or garden variety, Virginia. You might benefit from a poetic epithet. Amber-eyed Virginia, for instance. London poets have a taste for that sort of thing. Brass-shod Virginia. You must ensure that it scans. Do not write that down. Virginia of the Cloven Hoof. Definitely not. Pity. I haven't finished with my census question. The census asks me to record whether you were in love or married. I have no romantic involvements that you need report to your employers. No one speaks for a moment. What sort of business is typically done here? Diplomacy, commerce. Contracts are written and signed. Gathering of information. Contracts? Are you solicitors? Those who solicit? The term implies some engagement with the law. London law? An inferior product, I agree. We are not solicitors. This line of questions is proving more difficult than I anticipated. I'm keen to hear about your business, all the same. Come along, give me the truth. I don't serve ministry agents. You have now taken as much time as we can spare. At least you don't say whatever you're thinking, like most of London. But dishonesty is not alluring in itself. I pray I don't feel I will pine for you in your absence. At this point, I go back to Horatia's. Let's get changed for dinner. You see that woman? One that came by yesterday asking for doctoring? Aye, what should it be but nightmares again? Who is she? The captain's wife. Her husband was at sea when London came down. She dreams that he comes back to her, but he's nae the same when he does. He's devoted himself to the Fathom King, and cannot speak, only sing. You do anything? Only a dram of laudanum neft, and name all for a few days. There's fuel enough for the moment. You need to start a new show. There's somewhat else I've been brewing up to, so to say. In case it did not work, I take something out of his pocket, a lump wrapped in paper or leaves, just long enough for Horatia to see. Opium. Goodness. Well, wherever you got it, don't let anyone see it before you've had a chance to use it. There's a woman who comes to the door just every morning. Too many children and not food. Sometimes I have a penny or something for her. And this morning, I sat by the fire and didn't go to answer it. After a time, she stopped knocking and sobbing on the doorstep. Couldn't you arrange something for her with the neighbors? Or find someone who could take her on? No, we barely eat as it is. I chew diligently. The first few days weren't bad. People had food in their pantries still. Old loaves of bread, leftover joint, roots, and jam. Nothing new was coming into the markets. No new fish. No vegetables from the farm. Finish eating. With Archie or bad. Archie finds me upstairs after dinner. I cannot stop thinking on the Ministry of Cartography. There's something not right there. If you'd have let me show you what I'm thinking of. Please be my guest. You'll see what I have in mind in a moment. I'm sorting out my thoughts. When I started, it was to think through a treatment. It's good for all sorts. Stories, schemes, things that might be true, or things that don't have to be. While he's talking, he's getting out some bits of paper, written over in his own handwriting. Welcome to story crafting. From time to time, you'll be making stories about into discovering. Sometimes other people will ask you to bring them a story. They might want a true account, or they might want fiction. Either way, you'll come here to create the story they want. This is a slot. Slots contain the elements of your story. This is a who slot, meaning it can contain a character featured in the story. These are all the character tokens you could currently put in this slot. As you meet more characters in the game, you gain more options. Select one of the tokens to fill the slot and continue. This is a story about Harjeet. You can select the slot again to choose someone else if you'd like. Otherwise, let's continue. Characters in the stories you craft here are driven by motives, and these motives spur them to act. Tokens for actions and motives are represented by fragments of text rather than picture. Assign a token to both the motive and action slots before you continue. Harjeet, a policeman driven by secret unknown motives, carried on a scandalous public affair with a lover. But every story is the same. Finally, a second character will feature a friend, enemy, or a victim. Select this new slot to continue. The second person in your story needs to be different from the first, but the token for the character you first chose is marked with a cross. If you assign that token to this slot, vacate the first character slot. Try that now. We continue when both slots are filled. Harjeet, a policeman driven by secret unknown motives, carried on a scandalous public affair with his lover, Archie. Sometimes two tokens can't be placed together because they don't make sense together. More often, you can mix and match based on whatever you've learned about the world. You'll discover more variations in the course of play. Archie was afraid of Harjeet. Sometimes you'll be asked for a story where certain elements can't be changed. In that case, those slots will be locked. You can change everything else about the story, but not that piece. Finally, sometimes you can put an unknown into a slot. That means you think there's another possible answer, but you need to explore the world more to find out what it is. Building a story with some unknown elements gives you a hypothesis you can ask other characters about. Its final slot to continue. Harjeet, a policeman driven by secret unknown motives, carried on a scandalous public affair with his lover, Archie. Archie was afraid of Harjeet and reacted by doing something we have yet to identify. It formed a theory to ask people about. When you get a message about a story completed, that lets you know what kind of story you built. Now go and ask other characters about your idea. Whenever you're done working on a story, finished or not, you can leave the story crafting board. Go and tell other characters about your idea. I have a friend below that can take what we learn and put it about in the papers. I told them I knew someone that might be able to bring back a few secrets of the Ministry. You want to pay me to bring back information about my other employer? I can share some funds, in the spirit of shared enterprise. Yeah, you have a try. Make me a tale of Mr. Page's for the papers, eh? Mr. Page's established a ministry rule forbidding mapping in the knee. And something happened, presumably, but what? The typical Londoner rebelled against these commands whenever it was safe to do so, feeling that Mr. Page's did not mean well. It seemed best to create a bit of difficulty for these newcomers, who acted as lords and ministers without any. Mr. Pages made laws forbidding mapping because it knew that the floor of the Neath would shift anyhow. The maps would become obsolete and the citizens grow frightened. It was better to allow people to think that their own memory were at fault. Aye, well done. You're having sin from me for my own good. Till we could spread to others, wake London's suspicions. Put them on their guard. I could take it to the press. Now you might wonder, what's the purpose of having a scrap of paper just to say what you don't know? But I use that to mark a question I want to ask. Yeah, what would you do if you wanted to interrogate someone about why Mr. Pages was up to his ways? Pages, unknowable. Mr. Pages had purposes both unknown and unknowable. Established a ministry rule forbidding mapping. Ah, a fine question about what Mr. Pages intends for us all. Make a question like that and you'd be asking folk why Mr. Pages outlawed maps. Same as I asked Reese yesterday. Got the way of it. Questions to ask anyone who will reply. Answers to bring to me. You don't mind giving Mr. Pages all manner of stories about the people that live below? You can go on with it. You'd rather another way to making your bread? You might investigate while you're there. Ask him questions. Ask other people questions about him. Find out a thing or two. Pick up the questions you want to ask and investigate with anyone who might answer. Earn your pennies helping the citizens rather than those creatures in their blankets. Sounds like it doesn't require upright penmanship. That makes it superior to census work right now. There. Don't it just? The truth has its own value. Glad to hear you say so. No easy thing fighting the doubts on my own. With Horatio telling me I have the fidgets, and Grease saying I should be quiet and trust robe-wearing masters, I should let you get your sleep. Shake my head to clears. The ruminations are gone. All is as it was. $5 pennies, 4 census paid. Sold contraband, pre-fall, new niche, Phoebe, the bazaar, ordered written word. Rachel, David, wrote a novel, Carringham's, fought over Milton, fought over Rachel, Milton, Virginia, forbade mapping. $262. 11 days remain. And I believe I will call it for tonight. Oh, another morning, another newspaper. The headlines today read, Theological concerns within the Anglican Communion prompt formation of new synod. Interesting. I think I know what that one is. build the one we know. Pages did something for some reason. Typical Londoner was gullible and ignored it. And with that, let's call it for today. I have been James, and the game has been Mask the Rose. I will return soon. Thank you, and good night.